Everything is awesome. Everything's so cool. Everything is awesome. I don't know what it says I do that. Everything.
Crisis is being delayed. Enjoy the show.
This is the...
This is the One on Me podcast. My name is Jordan Sims, and with me, as always, my dying co-host, Ryan Smith. How you doing today?
What have you been playing? You know, man, my hair's so long.
It's
So cool.
So this week, I didn't play a whole lot.
No, dude, I was like thinking, it seems like you've dropped off a bunch of games. Maybe every game you've ever played.
I agree. I've been getting over some sickness stuff. Don't worry, it's not COVID. It's just some kind of weird skin
I
thing.
think you're just healing.
Yeah, it's like
But
anyway,
the stuff that you dropped like weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
Like you bought Crash Bandicoot like 3 weeks ago. Maybe not that long ago, but I don't know. I didn't think that this would interfere with that. I kind of surprised you hadn't beat the first one. I figured you would at least.
Yeah, I dropped a lot of things.
You haven't played Yakuza in forever.
Oh yeah, man. I've been slacking on a lot of stuff lately, but I picked up some more projects.
You picked up more stuff?
Well, no, not games. Well, one of them was free, but we'll get to that. Anyway, so I modded my Nintendo Switch, not like with homebrew or anything. I just changed the Joy-Cons out and the backplate, which actually wasn't as hard after watching about 2 hours and 30 minutes of YouTube.
Jeez.
Well, that was just my personal thing. Everybody else said, just when I say everybody
Could have
else.
watched the Quentin Tarantino in that time.
Yeah, that's true. Still not as long as the Irishman, though. But yeah, wasn't that hard. I changed the Joy-Cons to a clear watermelon color, the kind that.
Are they watermelon? I thought it was. I'd have to. Well, I guess they are because they're kind of pink and green, aren't they?
Yeah, I forgot the actual color, the actual color they call it. But there was a Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo back in the day that was that color red.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't.
Yeah, and I always wanted it, but I never got it.
There was a red SNES.
I think so, yeah. If I
Red
remember right.
SNES.
It is the.
There's a McDonald's SNES.
Let's see, clear.
You're talking about this?
I'm talking. Sorry, it was a 64. It was a 64. That's my bad.
64 had a bunch of different. I've got the. I don't know what you would call it. It's like an Onyx or something.
Yeah, like the gray looking one.
Crate clear in 64.
Yeah, and so I just had the normal N64 growing up, and I always wanted the green one, and I always wanted the clear red one. So I got the clear red Joy-Cons.
Where's my clear red PS5?
Oh, that'd be dope as hell. Oh man, that'd be really cool.
I just want a black one.
D-Brands, baby. I'm sure they got it. Yeah, so I modded my Switch, and I'm using my Amazon Fire tablet again. I actually got some. I know that's a weird jump from a modded Switch to a tablet for comics, but I'm back on Comixology.
Okay, so what you're trying to say is you're reading comic books.
Yes.
Okay, instead of Amazon Fire tablet. I thought you were gonna say you modded your tablet.
Well, not a physical mod, but I did take all the Amazon gobbledygook off of it.
Okay, you had to go inside it, and did you have to jailbreak it or something to do that, or are those are those kind of like Apple where you can't delete it? Although I think apparently you can delete more apps on Apple than you used to could.
Well, this was just you plug it into your computer and you hit disable,
Oh, okay, that's easy.
Yeah, somebody made a very simple program. You plug it in, it recognizes that you have a Fire, and you hit disable Amazon, and you hit install for Google services and stuff, and it's very simple.
I've been thinking about buying I have a tablet. I have a iPad Mini 2, but it's like 5-6 years old, and the battery's getting kind of bad. So I've thought about picking up a Fire tablet, but I don't really need one. So it's kind of like,
Yeah.
I guess even though the battery's kind of bad, it's not bad enough that to where it's forced me to get a new to get a new tablet.
Yeah.
And I think the iPad Mini is kind of the perfect size for reading and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's why I ended up getting the Fire tablet I did, because it was like $20 or $30 when Amazon put it on sale, and two, it is really good for reading tablets. I started reading the
Comics, you mean?
comics, and apparently DC teamed up. I guess I just lost this in the shuffle of everything else that was going on with 2019, but apparently DC and Rooster Teeth teamed up, and they have a Genlock comic and a Ruby comic. And
I thought DC just straight up published Ruby now, but they like.
Apparently they do. Well, they published Genlock and Ruby. So I got the first issues of both of those. They're on sale with, like, the Comixology.
Lower price.
Oh, yeah. They were, like, both 80 cents, which is phenomenal.
Do you have unlimited? Comixology
yeah.
Unlimited?
Yeah. So I got that, and I read the first issue of Ruby. It's different than the manga and different than the other comic that they put out before DC got them.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
If Ruby isn't an anime, how is Ruby a manga?
Dude, that's a really good question. And, you gotta...
Checkmate, weebs.
You gotta... Yeah, exactly. Man, that's a whole thing. But yeah, this seems like it's gonna follow its own story. Like, it takes story beats.
Is it in the same universe? It's just
same
side
universe.
Stories, or?
No, it's the same universe. It takes story beats from the actual show, but it kind of just shows a little bit of Ruby as a child, and then it speeds up to her being in like school, and then glasses over all the stuff that happens in probably 3 seasons. Like, it doesn't cover any of it. Like, you have to watch the show to understand all these little contexts they're throwing in. And then it looks like it's going to start off where, I guess, what book are they on now? 6? So it looks like it's going to start off where, like, season 4 or 5.
Is that volume 6?
Yeah.
It's not like the 6th it's not like the 6th comic book. It's like the 6th volume.
Yeah. Yeah. They do volumes.
Does it read from front to back like the Japanese? I can't.
No, it reads like a normal.
Sounds like a comic book.
It is a comic book.
I'm talking about the original one that you were calling a manga.
Oh no, it is a manga. It reads from right to left, and there's only 4, and it just covers.
Only 4.
Yeah.
I thought you said there's 6 volumes.
In the TV show.
I'm so confused.
This
They
is
call the
getting
TV
real
show
confusing.
volumes.
Yes, or book. I can't remember, man.
But Avatar is books.
Oh gosh.
I remember Avatar is
Avatar is books. You're
for
right.
some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, Avatar is books.
It's just how they want
I'm
it.
just taking a pot shot at people who don't think Avatar or Castlevania or anime.
Yeah, is anime. And the last thing I jumped into is actually a video game.
What the
It's
hell is this Developer Land?
Devolver Digital's.
Wait,
They came out with a free game
Oh
that
my
is a parody of E3, and it's their convention, and you can run around their convention center with their weapons from their games and watch their trailers, and that's it really.
How much time did you spend on this game?
How much time did I spend on it?
Uh-huh.
I don't know, like 20 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
It was free though.
That's so much time.
I know, it's so much time.
It's not a lot of time, but it's free is a bad reason. I say that's not much time.
No.
But it's free is a really bad reason.
Oh, well, I wanted to
There's
see
a
what
lot
it was.
of bad free games.
Well, I know, but I wanted to. There's a slight non-existent story, but it looked okay. I just wanted to explore the little universes they had.
I know you really like playing these like bad, and I know you know they're bad. So
Yes.
you like playing these bad games that are either super cheap or free, and you can tell they're bad because it looks like me or you could have made them.
Oh yeah. This definitely you
You were
can.
playing an eggplant game 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, it was.
Literally, you were shooting eggplants at a naked genie with a little anime girl.
Yes. It was an anime girl riding an eggplant at like spirits. So yeah, it sounds more weird.
You can
when
beat Journey in an hour.
Yes, you're right. Or I could be playing The Witcher 3.
Even if I know you for some reason don't like that, even though you put Jordan, oh my gosh, you've literally put as much time into Devolver Land as you put into The Witcher.
No, I gave The Witcher an hour and 30.
You told me you...
I played it 2 different times, and I didn't like it either time. So,
Okay, I can't believe you didn't like it.
Maybe a third time.
What really blew me away is the fact that you didn't like the world or the story of like... Because the main complaint that I can understand about The Witcher is the combat isn't the best. But the world is one of the best worlds created in video games, like, ever. Even people that say, I don't really like The Witcher, they're like, no, the story's great, the voice acting is great, the world is amazing, it's beautiful.
This was before this is before, obviously, I watched the TV show. So now that I'm...
Wait, this is before you watched the TV show?
Mm-hmm.
That was months ago. Was it?
Yeah, I haven't gone back and tried The Witcher 3 after watching the Witcher TV show.
Okay, I mean, not that that would necessarily make a difference, but...
It might make me enjoy it more now that I actually am curious about the universe and stuff. I don't know. I think it was just the particular time in my life that I was playing The Witcher. So maybe I'll give it a... Maybe I'm smarter now. And I can give good games a chance.
I mean, if you don't like it, you don't like it, but... It just... I mean... there are definitely games, The Last of Us being probably the biggest example, that are pretty much everyone likes, but I don't like. I've very much made it clear that I'm a gameplay first person. So The Last of Us does not excel at that. And even people who love The Last of Us will admit usually that The Last of Us gameplay is at least a little bit lacking, to say the least.
Oh, I agree.
So that's why it always surprised me that you didn't like The Witcher, because as much as it baffles me, you don't like, not that you don't like gameplay, that's a bad way to put it. It's not your primary concern.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Is absolutely a foreign concept to me and doesn't make any sense.
I know.
Why not just watch the TV show? Because the writing is 99.9% of the time better. But that's why it always boggled my mind, because that's what's so good about The Witcher. But if you don't like it, whatever, I should probably stop bringing it up so much, but...
That's really it for what I've been up to, besides jumping in the old Hyperscape, which...
Yeah, we both played Hyperscape. Not probably a couple hours. I think the best way that I know to put it is, at least for now, I definitely don't love it. I might like it. Maybe I need to play it more. I've only played it 2 or 3 hours in all, and they have added, I think, more stuff maybe even since I played it. But the traversal around the environment and everything feels great. Feels really good with the double jumps, and the abilities all feel really good. I actually watched a tournament today, Twitch Rivals. I watched it for probably too long instead of finishing up the notes, which is why we're recording later than we normally do. So it's a really fun game to watch. I don't know how I feel about the gunplay yet. I really want to put some more time into that and figure out which guns feel the best. It looks like a lot of the grenade launchers and stuff are going to be some of the better guns, so maybe I need to give those more of a try, more of a chance. And I do also... One of my primary concerns is some of the bullet guns don't feel as good as... They feel more like a Borderlands to me than an Apex.
I definitely would agree with that. And that's definitely one of the things where it feels the game kind of lacks.
There's not as much oomph behind it as some other multiplayer games.
Yeah, and I was realizing, trying to explain this to someone that doesn't play FPSs or something of that matter. I haven't had to
play video games, play FPS games.
Yes, but yeah, it feels like it's not there. I do really like Ryan was saying, how I like how you can kind of just roam around the map with different abilities and the different loadouts you can do. It's actually a lot of fun.
I will say that I'm definitely not done playing it. I don't know how much time I will put into it, but I'm not done. I'm certainly not done. It's still in beta, and you definitely have to take that into consideration when you're evaluating these types of things, obviously. But I feel like Jordan and I have both been enjoying it. I can't speak for him, but you say that...
Yeah,
obviously, he just talked about it. What am I talking about? I'm so stupid.
it's definitely fun at times. There was a couple matches.
It gets a little frustrating.
Yeah,
sometimes.
these last couple, like we were playing it a couple nights ago and stuff. And there was a couple matches where it was definitely a roller coaster of, okay, this is fun. Okay, I'm bored now. Okay, I'd rather be playing Apex, or I want to do something else. And then it'd be, okay, that match was fun.
I've talked to Jordan about how over the past maybe even month, I've just kind of started to get bored of multiplayer games. The only one I've really gotten a ton of enjoyment out of lately is Runeterra, and even that I haven't played as much. I think it's been a couple weeks since I've gotten like the full at the beginning of every week. You get to open a bunch of packs basically for depending on how much of the game you played, and I haven't gotten every pack you can in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I've definitely fell off that too. I'll play a match here and there.
I've played it, and I've done this before with Runeterra and other multiplayer games, where I'll go like a month where I'll play it here and there, and then I'll go a month or two where I just play it every single day.
Yeah.
So waiting on Artifact beta.
Yeah, dude, man. Yeah. I actually jumped back into Shadowverse now that I'm thinking about it, and we're getting the ball rolling with thoughts and everything. I jumped back into Shadowverse, not super hardcore, just one of those random logins to get rewards for whatever crap they're giving away.
I've heard that game is a bit of a grind. Would you say that's true?
It is disgustingly a grind. That's why I never log in. But I do try to log in at least a couple times a month because they do give away. They'll be like, here's 10 packs. Here's a thing of sleeves. Here's 30 packs. Apparently I missed some kind of thing you could do where if you like followed the Japanese Twitter or something, you could have been entered in to win like 10,000 packs or something like that.
Holy damn.
Which is insane.
Yeah, that's insane in any card game.
Yeah.
In any game period, winning 10,000 of the core mechanic.
Yeah.
But what really kind of surprised me is when I found out that the game had a rotation. I don't know if that's a thing that most online card games do, because I don't play online card games very much. The only one that I do know, I guess Magic and Pokemon both do it, but those are all actual in real life card games, and you don't need to do it really in online card games because you can nerf and buff cards in the game. But Jordan said the other day, I think he said something like, they want to make money. Like,
Yeah,
fair enough.
Shadowverse wants to make money.
But Riot is making Runeterra, and Riot's bigger than whatever company makes Games. They must be bigger than...
Yeah, Shadowverse is really, really big in Japan. And with that...
Is it bigger than Pokemon?
Yes.
As some of our friends that will remain nameless.
Yeah. And people in Japan, they, some of them really love spending money on mobile games or just games in general.
Well, yeah, mobile gaming is massive in Japan. And that includes things like the Vita, 3DS, Switch.
Exactly.
And obviously phones.
Mm-hmm. And with Shadowverse, it has that gotcha mentality of, if you don't know, gotcha, where you spend money and you don't know what you're going to get. Just like with regular card packs or any loot boxes or whatever.
Card games invented the gotcha mechanic.
Yes.
Whenever the baseball cards and football cards first came out decades and decades ago.
And so Shadowverse, unlike Runeterra or I guess really just even Pokemon, because Pokemon has a trade system, that's a whole other thing. But with Runeterra, you get copies of cards, and then you can use those cards. You like, oh, you already have a playset of this, so here's the currency to just make cards. In Shadowverse, you don't get that.
Wait, what? You don't get a currency to make cards just by...
There are, but you can have 20, 30, 90, however many copies of the same card. And you
have to break it down.
You have to break it down.
Manually. It's just having the game break it down by itself is such a godsend.
Yes.
I think Runeterra is really good it's been really good at taking mechanics from other games and refining them, and then bringing in other game mechanics that other games didn't have, adding them.
Just the fact that you can grind for cards in Runeterra, and it gives you, like, here's a champion, here's a rare card. It
basically gives you singles.
Yes. And me and a friend were talking about this the other day, about when is that going to stop? When all the rewards, and I guess we can kind of get into this in a different episode, just a little bit deeper, but just a brief thought about it. When you're done with all the rewards for all the regions, when are you going to... I guess you still get the weekly rewards and stuff,
Yeah.
but it's not going to be as much as running through, like, Demacia or Bilgewater.
Well, I already have most of those cards anyway. I probably have 70% of the card pool.
Okay, yeah, I guess.
Because I've gone through most of those anyway, and I play... Like I said, I go literally months where I play almost every day.
Okay.
But not even that. Like, if you just play like an hour or two a day, you can get most of the cards. And every time they add a
expansion,
they'll come out with a new region, which will give you another
That's true.
access to those. Also, for the casual players, it's going to take them a while. I wouldn't even say... I'd say I'm not hardcore, but I'm like in between hardcore and casual.
Yeah.
And I still have a region or two that I haven't completed.
I still have a lot of regions I haven't completed, but...
I think sometimes people will just forget to go to the... Wait, no, does it go to the next region by itself? No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
You have to change the region
I think that's what holds back some players.
Because I had to I had to do that today, actually, when I was playing.
But, yeah, going back to Shadowverse, I love the game. They have sweet animation cards. The story is actually really good. I genuinely do like the story.
It's a bit weeby, but...
It is a bit weeby.
I liked it for, like, the week that I played it.
Yeah, and I genuinely do enjoy the game. But at the end of the day, they really love money. Like, like most companies. But it's hard as hell.
It's good that you got to be able to find a way to hide how much you love the money.
Yeah, and it's every... yes, there is a rotation. So,
That is interesting. We can actually talk about this more on our other podcast, Dialogue Tree, in the coming weeks, maybe months, but probably in the coming weeks. I would say we're going to have an episode about card games, online and in real life card games that you can check out. So we can
that definitely saves me from
more depth.
Yeah, definitely saves me from going down a deep rabbit hole.
I did play one more game, however, and that is Undertale. That's right. I had never played Undertale. I'm not a real gamer. Until today. I picked up Undertale literally years ago, and like I've done so many times, I didn't play it. I think I played it for like 5 minutes maybe, and got distracted by something and put it down for like 3 or 4 years. But this past week, I did decide to download it, and it is excellent. As many of you already know, it's basically... I like to compare it to Earthbound meets a bullet hell game. I think that's the best way to describe it. It's this weird, quirky game that has a really interesting story and world, and the mechanics involve like dodging a bunch of bullets. That's basically the mechanic. I don't want to spoil too much. It's a very choice-driven game where you can basically murder everything in the game, murder only a few things or one thing, or do a complete pacifist run where you literally... You don't even have to do damage really until maybe one point you do, maybe. But which is what I chose to do. I had a real vibe that I should probably not do damage. That just kind of felt like the kind of game. You talk to the NPCs and they literally ask you, if you run up on somebody and maybe try to talk to them instead of fighting them. And that's what I did for every single encounter in the game. For the most part, I just... there's a couple exceptions, in which there are kind of some mechanics that you have to do besides talk. But yeah, you talk to them. You literally make them laugh. You make them cry. You flirt with them. You flirt with Papyrus, my boy Papyrus. And you can literally convince him to go on a date with you. It's awesome. Sans, of course, everyone knows about Sans. He's a great character. What I really didn't realize that there's like several characters in the game. I really like this, who are named after oh my gosh, what is it called? Fonts. Sans is in Comic Sans. Papyrus is a font.
That's awesome.
There's a character in the game that I didn't know about because I don't think I got him in my game, called WD something, and it's heavily speculated that his name is Wingding, which is also a font. Which is really interesting. So I think the game is excellent. Really good story. Really touching story. I made me to where I straight up did not want to hurt anybody at all. There's only like one character in the entire game that I really wanted to hurt. I wanted to straight up kill him, but I didn't. I didn't kill him. I didn't even hurt him. I don't think. Other people did, but I didn't. So, and I kind of, I don't want to say maybe feel proud because it's such an easy thing to not hurt an NPC in a game. But I did have to kind of hold myself back from just murdering this little D-bag. And I'm glad I didn't because the payoff was really nice and really good. The music is gorgeous. Toby Fox, of course. Everyone knows him now because of Deltarune. I think he helped on Smash, the Smash music. He's absolutely excellent. Everything he does in this game is excellent. The artwork is really unique, although it definitely has some callbacks to its predecessors. It's not a sequel or anything, but it definitely has heavy influence from games like Earthbound. Really fantastic in every way. Even the gameplay is really nice. It's nice. I played with the controller. It was a little finicky to get my controller set up, but you had to push F4 to full screen for some reason instead of they didn't have a full screen mechanic, and I had to go in there and configure my controller instead of. I tried it with a keyboard, but I really did not like it with a keyboard at all. So I ended up using my Xbox One controller. Definitely, I think that is the best way to play it. And it also had some almost, I think the best, most apt comparison I could make is Doki Doki Literature Club type mechanics in the game. I don't want to spoil what those are, but if you are out there, you definitely know what I'm talking about. Highly, highly recommend this game. I think it's one of the best games probably in at least the last 5 years for sure, especially indie games.
Combining what this person told me when I used to work at the mall with what I've seen from Ryan play, I now understand a little bit about this game.
I would definitely recommend playing it. It's probably very cheap on Steam all the time.
Yeah, this person just came in and just randomly started talking about this game. And probably halfway through, I was like, so this is a video game. It wasn't even on my radar at all. As crazy as I am when it comes to video games, enjoying random ones in indies and such, I
think you'd really like this.
I'm gonna check it out
because it's like I said, it's cheap. I know you like cheap games, baby, not because they're cheap, but some underlying condition.
Yeah.
It's really quirky. Toby Fox came out with oh my gosh, I'm completely blanking right now. Deltarune, which is I think I don't know if it's a sequel or a spiritual successor or what. I came up with the first episode on last year or the year before that, and it's free on I think all platforms except for Xbox, I want to say. So I downloaded that, although I'm gonna take a break from Undertale. It does get fairly dark and disturbing. A lot of the game I would say is okay for everyone to play it, and I don't think this one's too bad. But towards the end, there is some definite, even what I would say, disturbing imagery that you might not want to let small kids play. But it's not too hard. It's not too hard to grasp. It's concepts that everyone should grasp. Don't hurt anyone unless it's absolutely necessary, and even then, maybe not. Friendship, family. Maybe do more examining. A book. You can't judge a book by its cover, I guess is the best way to put that. Absolutely. Okay, cannot recommend more.
The last thing I wanted to talk about is I remembered throughout the week and stuff, we'll be like, hey, pin that. We'll talk about it on the podcast. But sometimes we forget and we don't actually bring it up on the podcast and we'll remember later.
I was actually thinking about this yesterday as I couldn't remember something.
Yeah, exactly. It just made me think of earlier I was playing the 7 Deadly Sins mobile game like I do.
Yeah, baby. That addiction.
I actually don't have it running on a computer or on my phone right now.
How dare you?
I know.
Oh, yeah, you said you don't know if you want to keep playing it.
Yeah, the game, so...
You got to take the needle out, man. See the world for how it is, man. Puff the Magic Dragon's got a hold of you.
It definitely feels like that sometimes. Because the game has been out in Japan for like a year and some change. And so the English version is trying to catch up. And so they're releasing a bunch of content, over and over and over through the weeks. Like when you're hearing...
Even Twitch Prime has content on it every month, don't they?
Yeah. Like when you're listening to this, there's a maintenance going on. And then there's new content coming out. and it's kind of becoming like any mobile game, in my opinion. It's kind of becoming like not free to play. Sorry, pay
when
to
you say
win.
mobile game, you're talking about like gacha style mobile games.
Yeah,
because not like there's like the Hitman, like the Go franchise, Hitman Go,
Lara Croft,
Monument Valley, those Pac-Man.
Yeah,
those types of games, those aren't pay to win.
Yeah, no, and this is definitely one of those things where even if it does have auto aspects, I don't know if I.
But that sounds really gross on the mic.
That does. Yeah, it doesn't sound appealing.
That's just Monster.
That's just Monster. But yes, I don't know if I really want to take the time, even if it does have auto aspects like I was saying.
Scumbag.
So?
They've given you everything. You wake up in the morning to play this game.
No.
You go to bed thinking about waking up the next morning to play this game.
I used to, and now I'm just finding myself kind of feeling obligated to play it, and that's how I know I don't need to play it anymore.
You feel it going through your veins?
Yes.
That's how I feel every morning when I wake up and drink my coffee.
Oh, gosh.
Feel the warmth fill my body. Wake up feeling like death, but man, that sweet, sweet coffee, it's there for me. It's there for me when I wake up. And if it's not, get a little heart palpitation. Definitely don't have a problem.
Yeah, it's
I don't have a heart palpitation. I have a panic attack.
Okay. That makes it sound a little better. Yeah, it's becoming kind of pay to win. And I don't...
Oh, no!
Yeah.
I think I just found some chapstick under my chair.
Yeah. I wanted to see if you could find it. It's been there all day. So, hopefully he's getting it. He's doing the human pretzel to get that chapstick. Ow. Mine and their ears.
Some Burt's Bees, baby. Is the table moving? Or
I moved it so you wouldn't hit the table again.
Oh my gosh, I thought I had a stroke.
No, they definitely just heard a lot of weird noises.
I was under the table and I woke up I didn't knock myself out. I got back in my chair and the entire table was moving side to side. And I thought I had smacked my head way harder and I was having some kind of a condition.
But
another condition.
Enough about me being in mobile phone game gotcha jail, just with being a prisoner to that game. Just I guess I'll keep y'all updated.
Smells like Fruit Loops.
It isn't good chapstick. Burt's Bees, not a sponsor, but maybe one day. So
ready and willing.
yes, please. Let's get into some new games. Ghost of Tsushima is coming out this week, July 17th.
Be a samurai.
For PS4.
I'm actually really looking forward to this game. As much as I was not at all looking forward, should probably... Okay. It's enough of the chapstick for now. As much as I was not looking forward to The Last of Us, I am definitely looking forward to Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima.
Nice.
And I was a really, really big fan of Sly Cooper. I actually love Sly Cooper. The first 3 games, I think, are impeccable. I also like Infamous. Those games are very fun. I think the last game that they came out with was Second Light. I think that's the name of the game.
I think so, yeah.
Which is very good. It came out a year or two after the PS4, I want to say. So it's been a while since Sucker Punch came out with the game. So, I like this new influx of kind of Japanese-inspired and Japanese-made games set in Japan.
Hot take.
I'm gonna slap you.
I'm interested in this game, obviously. I like Japan, I like samurais, I like swords.
No!
I know.
Say that to my blade. I have no idea what... Wow. This is the deepest of cuts.
Is it bad that I want to play this game just so I can play it in black and white? Because that's an option for this gameplay.
That's the only reason you want to play it?
No, it's not the only reason.
It's not bad that you want to play it and be like, I'm not going to. The game is gorgeous. I want to see all them pretty graphics.
I want to play a game like this to see.
I think the black and white is kind of something you do in the second playthrough.
People play games
People play games thousands of times. What are you talking about? Jordan, I'm going to have to show you something called speed running that lunatics do and make very little money from.
What's speed running?
It's a disease, much like your disease.
Oh. Paper Mario comes out the same day for...
That was the worst, the most awkward transition in a while.
Paper Mario comes out that same day for the Switch. So after you get your innards massacred by your samurai ninja warriors...
Patch them up with some paper.
That's exactly what they do in the olden times. Just put some origami to them and tuna kit your wounds
Origami's
away.
also Japanese.
Holy shit.
But Mario's also Japanese.
I think Mario could take
Italian.
this... I think Paper Mario could take on the Ghost.
Well, he's not real, and the ghost is.
Whoa.
I don't know about this game. I adore the first few Paper Mario games. Everyone since probably the third one has been mediocre to okay, at least that I could think of right now. This game definitely looks different. We've talked about this in the past about how I'm optimistic but kind of scared. The combat system is strange. It's kind of an active combat system, and I don't know how much RPG is going to be in this game.
Yeah, I don't
It scares me a lot because I love especially the first two. I love so much, and I really want that back kind of desperately. I want a goofy, fun RPG back.
Sorry, I'm watching the guy on Twitch. We got a guy in the living room playing Hyperscape.
That's twitch.tv/moistcritical.
Yep.
Just shilling someone else's stream.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Warhammer 40K is available.
I kind of forgot we were talking about video games. I mean, not video games.
Wow.
New games.
Yeah, new games, baby.
We never did figure out. Kid! You
What?
never did figure out when this was coming out.
This week. I
Is
told
that-
you,
is that-
July,
is that a guess?
July 17th.
July 17th, apparently.
I'll look
According
it
to
up again.
Jordan. Halo 3 is on PC right now. Go get it, baby. I think it's on Steam as well as the Microsoft Store, Xbox Game Pass, and whatnot.
I just double checked just for the listeners.
The Litners.
July 17th, 40K.
That's a busy day.
Yeah, man.
Hyperscape, the game we talked about earlier in the podcast, is available not only for closed beta, but now is going to be in open beta. You can connect your Twitch to it, and I believe it's going to provide you with some goodies, although you may have to watch a stream to get them.
Nope.
Is that correct?
You gotta marry your...
I really like that term.
I think it's because of my crippling loneliness. You know?
Damn.
You gotta put your Ubisoft and your Twitch account together. Heaven forbid if your
It bothers
Ubisoft
me
account
way
is...
too much when people play Ubisoft.
is
I know it's not that big a deal, but it bothers me way too much.
Heaven forbid if you're...
It's not ubiquitous software.
I know.
And you're far from the only person that says it.
I know.
I have to vocalize this little bit of assholiness.
It's okay.
Anytime
I say it
I hear
however I
someone
want.
across from like the mall. I haven't been to the mall in God knows how long, but I heard someone say
Imitation's
Ubisoft. You just have to sprint across. It's Ubisoft. It's short for ubiquitous software, and they've had sexually allegation misconduct lately.
So ubiquitous
I
software.
don't know if it's actually sexual. Don't take that. I read the word assault, so
I read
know.
the word
Someone
abuse.
just got to get their ass beat.
So, you never know. Yeah, you take your Ubi account and your Twitch account, you put them together.
Ubi.
That's what I said.
I hate you so much.
Yeah, so and you get some kind of cosmetic or whatever. I did it. I don't know what I got yet because I haven't logged back into the game. I will say the battle pass takes too many stars to level up, but that might just be the game telling me to get good.
It seems like it takes too much. Even the streamers that I was watching play the tournament, most of them hadn't even reached level 10, and they play the game more than anybody.
Yeah.
Although the game hasn't been out very long, still you
Yeah.
should be able to get to level 10 in a few days.
Yeah, I mean, it is just the second day of the beta, but I do understand what you're saying and agree with that.
Let's get into the news. First up on the docket, the Crysis Remastered is in a bit of a crisis, and it has been delayed. There's such a big space between the paragraph and that news.
Dear Crysis fans, as you know, Crysis Remaster will be coming into the world this year, and at the same time, the Crysis IP will debut on Nintendo Switch. Your passion for the Crisis franchise deserves an undeniable, high-quality game. And undeniable, high-quality. They want to make a really super good game for you. And we are committed to delivering just that. To ensure that we meet the commitment, and we will need to delay the launch, all platforms, and trailer by a few weeks. Because they already started, pre-orders for the Switch will stay up, but pre-orders for all other platforms will be delayed as well. The features you're looking forward to are already set, but we want to take time on polishing the game. You might be aware that the leak yesterday, and we want you to know we've seen the reactions, the good and the bad, and we're listening. We're still working on a number of things in the game, as well as the storefront. Please keep the love coming, and rest assured, you'll have the game you love shortly. This extra time until release will allow us to get Crysis Remastered up to PC and console breaking standard you've come to expect from Crysis games. We hope you understand what we're up to, and that you will stay with us while we take time to make a few more improvements. Stay tuned, and we'll have the game in your hands as soon as we possibly can. We'll keep you updated on the process, so hang in there and check back for updates. Thank you, Team Crysis.
Okay, so the PC, all the other versions except for the Switch got delayed. The Switch, I believe, will still be coming out on that original, was it July 20-something?
Yeah, July 20-something. The Switch pre-orders are going to stay up. All the other pre-orders are going to be taken down.
I noticed a weird word in that message, in its storefront.
Yeah, I think it's just they're talking about just their Crytek, storefront, their website, wherever they're.
No, there's no way. People aren't going to go online and buy it. They're going to go to Steam. But so is there? What I want to know. I mean, obviously they're going to have, but that's such a weird thing to mention.
Baby,
I haven't played Crysis. Maybe there's a storefront in the game. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
That's what I was thinking. Is there some kind of storefront?
I'm not sure. I've never actually played Crysis. I've only ever used it to benchmark computers. So.
Wait, you bought it just to benchmark a computer, and you didn't play it?
No, there's a program you can use that will just show you what the options would be. It's not actually no, I haven't bought the game.
Okay.
It's just a benchmarking program that says this is how your computer would perform Crysis, pretty much, because it has the.
Why would you need a program for that? Wouldn't you just look at the specs?
I don't know, man. I was
okay. Fair enough. I don't know that much about computers, but yeah, maybe this is normal. Maybe like you said, this has something to do with their website. Maybe I'm being cynical here, and I'm thinking that they have some kind of in-game currency or purchases or something, which would be weird for a remake of an old game, but not impossible. By far from impossible. That being said, you can look forward to Crysis. I'm looking forward to how it compares, because, like Jordan said, it has been used to compare to see how powerful computers are for a decade now.
I can't even imagine what it's gonna look like. I bet they're gonna make it.
Some people said they didn't like the way the trailer looked or the leaks or whatever.
I haven't seen anything. I think Crysis 3 looks awesome. So
when did Crysis 3 come out? I wonder.
2012 maybe.
Oh, Crysis delayed. No, that's not what I wanted to look up. It must have come out
2013.
What was it on?
Earlier?
Was it PS3?
20.
What was it on? 2013.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I think it's on PS3.
I think, yeah. Isn't it?
Either way.
But yeah, that game is beloved, and it has tons of people that enjoy that particular game.
When did Crysis come out?
2007. Oh, I was gonna give it 2010, but that wouldn't have made any sense.
Okay, let's move on to more news. New World, Amazon's MMO, has been delayed. So, I forgot about this, but the game was actually delayed from May until August. And now, according to Polygon, it has been delayed again to sometime in spring of next year.
They got to take some beats from how well Crucible did. Again, I know it's not the same team, But Amazon took.
You know, they had to worry them.
Oh hell yeah! The fact that Crucible took 5 years, bombed, and they went back into beta. I don't know the details on how long New World took. Or
It's been 4 years, I think, since they started development.
That sounds right.
So that's not really that long for a AAA game, but it's not that short either. I think 4 to 5 years is usually the minimum.
Yeah.
I believe Cyberpunk to give you some sort of to give you a
Timeline.
I guess
Comparison.
Comparison. Thank you. I think it's been in development for I wouldn't say like 7 years. I'm not sure though.
I was thinking upwards of. I was thinking towards 9, but that might
No, it
just
hasn't
be me
been.
throwing a number out there.
I was gonna look it up, but I actually don't care that much. Yeah, it takes a long time to develop games. Also, according to Polygon, Rick Lawrence, who is the studio director over at Amazon Game Studios, said, "Quote: When we examined the feedback we received over the last several months from our alpha audience, we saw that players like the game, and that they would like to see even more of it." Lawrence said. In particular, we want to ensure that most of the dedicated players have plenty of middle and in-game experiences as they venture through Atnurm. I guess that's the name of the game world. We want our players to feel completely immersed in the game and know that our studio stands for quality and lasting gameplay you can trust. And that means added time to get things where we want them before fully release. He went on to say, as a result, we will be changing our launch date and correspondingly our final beta test to spring 2021. We don't want to make the decision. We don't make the decision lightly, and we have urgency about getting the game to you as quickly as possible at the best quality, with some additions that will make the experience even better. End quote. Kind of sounds to me like the game might be a little lacking content-wise.
Yeah, it sounds like they just made the entree and didn't give any signs, and so now they want to kind of make a full
course meal.
Yeah, so to speak. Because from what I saw, I watched 20 or 30 minutes of gameplay of it, and the multiplayer looks cool.
Well, that's all it is, kind of, isn't it?
Yeah,
MMO.
really.
I don't know that much about MMOs, but that's kind of.
It didn't look like, coming from someone that plays.
It's massively multiplayer.
Yeah, it didn't
online.
It didn't look like there was a whole lot of meat.
Did they show anything?
They showed
You can't tell anything for 30 minutes of a beta.
They showed a castle-to-castle battle, like a siege. Looked pretty cool. But it's one of those things where you're wondering, what else are you going to give us? So it looks like they might have to maybe not go completely back to the drawing board.
No, that would take them another 5 years.
Yeah, but they look maybe, things they might have.
They're just going to give it more of what they have, is what it sounds like. I think that's literally exactly what he's saying. Is they're just going to add more content.
Which I'm fine with. Do it. Sure.
Yeah, it's completely understandable. These things take time. And yes, a game can be tweaked after now, but it's not ideal. I mean, talk to No Man's Sky, talk to Rainbow Six Siege, talk to the Division. Yes, these games are now lauded and applauded for what they did, staying with their games, but they had a lot of vitriol thrown at them, and for good reasons when they first came out.
Yeah, that's definitely true. It's one of those things where it's now's the best time to delay games because everybody's kind of just.
Well, I don't know if that's actually true because I think games are selling more than they've ever have right now.
I was just thinking about it in the case of people are learning patience right now, and so
I think I think like there are people at that studio that would probably shoot someone in the head to get the game out today.
Probably, I'm sure there are definitely people on that team where they are biting their fingernails.
This is a prime time to release a game, especially a game like an MMO. Everyone's at home. Video game sales have gone through the roof since the quarantine. They would love to have the game out. And like I said, metaphorically, they would kill somebody for it to be out if it could be out in a way that had quality, as they speak of in the quote.
True, and especially with the little bit of limelight that I guess spotlight's a better word that Amazon had with Crucible and just kind of them looking at the people.
I don't know if I'd say that was a spotlight. It was infamous spotlight.
Well, yeah, where people are kind of wondering, what's going to be the next MMO I play? Am I going to spend money on this MMO to try it out?
Well, isn't this isn't free to play, is it?
No, it's
So
like
they're definitely going to.
yeah. I mean, but if you get it, you want to play with friends, and so can you convince all your friends to spend $40?
I don't think there's no way it's $40, right? It must be $60.
I think it's 40.
It's Amazon. Daddy Bezos don't charge $40. Also, I think you're the only person that has to convince their friends to play this kind of thing. And it's not because of you. It's because none of your friends actually want to play an MMO. It's just you do, and you're desperate to get your friends to play with you. Your friends don't want to play MMO.
I have my core group of people that I play MMOs with. But just like with anything...
They're kind of weird, and you don't want to play with them.
Well,
shh. Just take it.
Yeah, they're weird. Everybody comes from different walks of life, and also life happens. And with the quarantine, I was thinking, cool,
You sound so defeated.
gonna get some MMOs, play some MMOs with people, but it's always, it's hard to find an MMO where everybody can agree on, because people will be like, well, I want to play something anime. Well, I don't want to play an MMO again.
Has there ever been a good anime MMO? Final Fantasy 14 does not count.
You can't hear me, but Maple Story. Okay, that didn't count.
I'm genuinely curious.
People like Blade and Soul. People like Black Desert.
Oh gosh, I didn't want this.
It
doesn't look very anime to me. I don't know. I've only seen quick screenshots. I don't care that
anyway.
much. It's just the most popular, or definitely not. You hear about RuneScape. You hear about World of Warcraft. You hear about ESO, Elder Scrolls Online. You hear about Final Fantasy 14. You hear about Final Fantasy 11.
Monster Hunter World.
I guess, what was that?
Monster Hunter World.
Yeah, but that's really like an MMO light, if anything.
Yeah, but you can put it in the category. I mean, slightly.
Yeah, it's MMO adjacent.
Yeah, there's not enough MMO
the only real,
lights.
I guess, popular that I know there, like Jordan said, there's this game called Maple Story, and there are popular. I'm joking, but only kind of. The only MMO that's very anime inspired, even more so than I think than Final Fantasy, because Final Fantasy of course is somewhat anime inspired, but it's also very like Tolkien inspired and stuff as well. It's cyberpunk inspired and all this stuff. Is Phantasy Star Online, and I think Phantasy Star Online 2 has been trapped in Japan for like a decade, and
long
I think it's
time.
finally coming.
It is
to America,
and I will give that to you. It's one of those things where to get a group of friends enough where you can actually have fun in an MMO is difficult, because it has to check everybody's boxes, because it's going to take time and sometimes it's going to take money, and that's really what it comes down to.
It doesn't seem like there aren't very many free MMOs that are popular and well made.
There are a ton, just not in we just don't hang out in that particular sphere, because the people that play those
are scary, smell bad.
Yes, and they also
and go
only play those
Digimon conventions.
Yeah, man, I wouldn't go to one of those. What do you think of the PS5 box?
Okay, I actually like it.
I don't mind it either.
Some people have been saying perhaps it would look better with a black outline to match the black and white aesthetic of the box itself. I kind of like the weird white and blue.
My thing is, one, they probably got a lot of these blue fuckers laying around. A lot of them. So
I've got like 5, 6.
Yeah, so just imagine what the little factory has, They shut it down for COVID. They got a ton of these things sitting around.
I don't think those boxes cost them very much to make.
Probably not.
I think they have a manufacturer in China and they say make 15 trillion of these, and they're like, $100?
I really thought you were going in a different direction, different voice tone.
You thought I was going to make a joke about sweat factories and
yes,
children making boxes. Nah, man.
Okay.
This is a fun podcast.
Yeah, I don't mind it either.
I don't know if it's also... I think that it goes really well with the subject matter of Spider-Man Miles Morales.
the fact that he's on.
He's wearing the. I think the blue goes well with the blue.
Oh yeah, looks good.
And the black, the black of the box and the darker blue of his suit, I think also go well with the white of the PS5, and maybe that speaks to what people are talking about when they say if the box was black, if the actual plastic of the box was black and the outline of it was white, it would look good, and maybe it will. I assume that there are some what are those called? Edits, I guess, online to make it look like it's black and white.
Yeah, I will say that I hope they continue. I don't know if I'm gonna keep buying the physical PS5's games, just now that I actually think about it out loud. But if I do, I hope they continue with the reversible cover art. That's what it's called.
Oh yeah, I like those.
Yeah, I got my Last of Us 1 displayed, my Horizon, and my God of War. But, if I get the digital edition, I guess I just won't have any box art to display.
I've pretty much gotten to where, unless I find a good deal, and COVID has not helped this at all. I used to go to GameStop every once in a while, look at the deals they had, trade some of my games in that I've beaten or didn't like or don't play anymore, trade them in for pennies on the dollar. But since this, I think that the coronavirus has really helped to expedite what was already happening. I was buying mainly digital already. I would buy some games that were single player and buy them physically. That way I could sell or trade them back in or lend them out to somebody. But there's so many good sales. I bought like 10 games for $80, maybe more than 10 games on the Steam sale. A bunch of single player games, maybe only single player games, for super cheap over the last. I can't remember when the Steam sale was recently.
Yeah, and it seems like
they were so many good deals.
It seems like even stepping aside from the Steam sale, all these little developers, like they're small, but all these developers,
developers, EA, although EA is not really a developer.
But yeah, all these people that have their own launchers and stuff and have their own storefronts, it seems like they're having sales here and there too.
Some of them are. I don't have them downloaded.
Yeah, and granted, they don't hold a candle to GOG or Epic or even especially the God tier Steam sale.
That's why I like Green Man Gaming, because they have sales. They go like all across the internet and look at sales and show discounts and stuff from Steam and everything else.
It is nice. I do like that website a lot. It's pretty banging.
Moving on to the next piece of news. The last month or so has been a mystery around the streaming world. Ninja, Shroud, Dr. Disrespect, all of them have been... what are they going to do with their future streaming? It seems that we have a hint at a possible answer for possibly the most famous streamer, Ninja. He is streamed on YouTube. That's right. YouTube. There's no word on if this is official or not. It seems to be, at the moment, just a one-time deal. That's all we know for now. He had a peak around 100K, and he did indeed play Fortnite. That's right. Ninja played Fortnite.
Well, hope he enjoyed himself. He's a damn good businessman. Smart as a whip. Got $30 million for doing nothing, pretty much. I know that sounds assholey, but I mean,
he did the same thing he did every other day.
Well, I know, but he went, did whatever he wanted, and didn't have to finish the contract. I don't know. It was a good deal.
It was a good deal. This is an amazing deal, especially for him and Shroud.
Yes, that's definitely
true.
That's
really all we have here. Like I said, there doesn't seem to be a contract signed or anything. We don't know anything about Shroud, what he's going to do. That's it. That's literally it. Yeah. Let's move on. Another smaller story. A copy of... Let me click on this link.
Super Mario Brothers. That has been graded at a 9.4.
Yep. And according to... It's really good. It's really...
Oh, yeah, that.
I was going to say, according to website Nintendo Life, it has sold for $114,000, making it the most expensive video game ever sold, I do believe.
Yeah, it is one of those things, for those of you that aren't, I guess, not interested, but versed in grading, it's a scale out of 10 on points, and It's like we said, got a 9.4, and so it all goes up to, they do everything from like how the cardboard is, the plastic, etc. Like they look at everything.
It's almost impossible to get a 10.
Yeah, I have never seen a 10. Excuse me, I don't think of anything graded.
I think my dad, when he was a kid, he collected baseball cards, and he pulled some, I can't remember what card it was, but he pulled some rare card out of the pack, put it in a hard plastic sleeve, sent it in to the grader, and they didn't give him a 10.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't trust them. I do not trust them anymore.
Yeah, it's definitely really, really hard to get a 10. It almost seems like there's a secret society around it or something. But this is something that I'm into graded cards, that being trading cards, even though I don't own any, but it does interest me, and I really am into graded comics.
I like graded video games a lot, actually.
I did never really jump into it until, I guess, these last couple of years. I didn't even think about that it being a thing until I saw them and such.
Dude, what if someone had like a graded box of unopened Pokemon fossil or something?
Oh, now I've seen those.
You've seen like a graded box?
Yeah,
I've seen like unopened boxes that go for thousands of dollars, but I've never seen one that was graded.
Have I? Maybe they just had it in a plastic case. Actually, I don't know. I don't know if they'd grade a booster box. Now I'm curious.
Not like I can afford it. I couldn't afford one that wasn't graded.
That's true, yeah. But
you got to find one that's actually in really good condition, but someone graded really poorly.
Yes.
Which can actually make the price go down worse than it would have been if it wasn't graded. And then when you get it, you crack it open.
Yes. There you go. I really like the look. I wouldn't mind
owning this.
Yeah. This or any. I didn't even think until we were watching a YouTube video the other day that you can grade consoles. Well, at least
you can grade anything.
Well, I know. I'm learning that now. That you can literally grade anything. So maybe in the future I will own 1 or 2 copies of a graded video game thing.
The previous record was held by, I think, another copy of the Super Mario Brothers, which sold for around $100,000 last February.
Yeah, that is crazy considering that, this game is from 1985.
It's you see, this is something similar in Pokemon stuff, Pokemon memorabilia, as well as other things that appeared in the 80s and 90s and even 70s to a degree. People because nerd culture did not really start in a big way until the 70s. Obviously, Star Wars came out, but then it wasn't even acceptable until like a decade ago.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
You get shoved in a locker and whatnot. That was of course, the trope. But it really has come into its own as of late. Of course, the Marvel movies played a big role in this. But also, I think a lot of this has to do with people that grew up. Because before, Star Wars especially, of course, there were things before, but that's what really kicked it off. And people that were kids are now in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, and they can afford to buy this stuff.
Yeah.
They can afford to spend $10,000 on a Pokemon card, or they can afford to spend $100,000 on a video game.
Yeah, and not even to play, just for display, bragging rights, put it on the bookshelf, mantle, wherever you want to put it.
A safe.
Yeah,
Just on your mantle beside a loaded gun.
Yeah.
This is my copy of Mario. Awkwardly segueing to the next bit of news we have here. Xbox, among some other studios, have expressed interest in purchasing none other than Warner Brothers game division. It has been reported by IGN that AT&T may be looking to sell this division of their company. Other suitors, is a weird way to put it, other people that have expressed interest in purchasing this, Activision, EA, and Take-Two. They would get, among other, studios, Avalanche Software, Monolith Productions, NetherRealm Studios, Rocksteady Studios, and Traveler Tales. They make the Lego games, if you are unaware.
That's a big old catalog.
It is. Here's the thing. You may not have thought about this because I don't believe others have either. They would not be getting Batman, any of the DC properties, any of the properties that the Lego has. They would not be getting Mad Max, which I believe they might have. They would not be getting Harry Potter. They would not be getting Lord of the Rings, because these studios do not own any of these properties. WB does. But they're not going to be selling Batman. They're just going to be selling Rocksteady if they sell anything.
Yeah, which is...
Now, these are some elite studios. They are.
Yeah.
Especially Rocksteady Games. But without Batman, I'm sure the next game is going to be excellent. But they don't have the recognition. No one has the recognition of Batman. Very few properties do. The only big name that they would be getting, I believe, is Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, which, you know, they could do something okay with. But
They could make Mortal Kombat 12, perhaps?
excuse me, but yeah, they could.
They will. We're back.
Mortal Kombat Battle Royale.
Oh, no.
Yeah. That'd be terrible. That would not be fun.
No, you were talking about, it might have been literally yesterday, you got real excited and said that they should make a Melee Battle Royale, so
That was my
going
one.
back on your
That
word,
was my one bad idea of July.
we each get a bad idea.
No, I get one.
Oh,
Everybody else gets many.
okay, you put some very heavy expectations on your shoulders.
Yep, you know, got to handicap myself.
But yeah, these are very well-known studios, and they make well-regarded games that sell millions of copies, but they would not be getting any of those games, any of those franchises that I mentioned.
You know, yeah, it makes me wonder what they would do with it, because Xbox has a lot of studios where they just own them and you don't ever see them do anything with them yet.
Well, they just bought them. All those studios that you're probably talking about, they just bought them.
I guess they're not gonna buy them and just churn out something right then.
Or those studios came out with a game several years ago, and they're working on their new one. Rare released Sea of Thieves not that long ago, and they have that other game in development. I can't think of them at the moment. The people who made Outer Worlds. They just
Obsidian.
released, they just released Outer Worlds last year.
That's true. That's true.
And their other game that doesn't look like I would enjoy it at all is in development right now. You know?
Yeah, true. So yeah, I'm sure those other I'm sure the companies that are interested in getting WB are smart enough to know that they aren't getting all the.
Yeah,
I would
of
hope
course.
so.
That would be insane if they didn't realize that.
That would be comical. Really would.
That still would be a big deal if they sold that off. I'm sure that would cost hundreds of millions of dollars, though.
Yeah, most definitely. I wonder if it would come close to how much that Sony gave Epic Games.
It probably would. Wait, Epic Games. Yeah, actually, it might be. Actually, a good segue. It threw me off. According to The Verge, Sony has purchased a minority stake in Epic Games for a whopping $250 million, which got them 1.4% of Epic.
Go Sony.
Go Epic, because this gives them a value of about $18 billion.
Yeah, that's definitely crazy.
I mean, I knew they were big, but I definitely did not know that they were this worth this much money.
Yeah, it definitely is insane to see how much money they've made and how well they are as a company now.
In the press release that Epic released, they said very corporate, I guess you could say, it sounds very corporate speak. Quote, they want to broaden their collaboration across Sony's leading portfolio of entertainment assets and technology and Epic's social entertainment platform and digital ecosystem to create unique experiences for consumers and creators, end quote.
Yeah, they definitely are interested in continuing their, I'm sure, what is stellar relationship with Epic, especially with how well Fortnite's been doing on Sony. I know.
Some people actually have accused Epic and Sony of collaborating, because you know that they showed or them giving Sony preferential treatment with showing the Epic 5 or Unreal 5, I believe it is, which is made by Epic on the PS5 a month or so ago. But Epic is denying this. Of course, they could be lying, but at the same time, I kind of believe them because they also talk about the Xbox, how it's coming to multiple things, and Sony's not paying $250 million for shout out.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely not. So
we have some Naughty Dog news. Actually, there has been a job listing according to Games Radar. The only thing here is they're saying that there's new job listings, which have confirmed Naughty Dog is working on a next generation single player game.
Okay, cool.
Which, of course, they just finished The Last of Us 2 to mixed reviews, mostly positive critically, it seems, but not all around. This isn't too surprising. Of course, the game just came out less than a month ago, probably.
Yep. I want to say I'm curious about what they're going to come out with next.
I'm definitely curious. There's no way it's The Last of Us.
God, I hope not.
I want to say it's probably not Uncharted 5, although I think because of the popularity of Uncharted 5 or Uncharted 4 and the other Uncharted games, that it probably will happen. I want it to be a new IP, though.
That'd be interesting.
They haven't come up with a new IP since The Last of Us, which came out in 2013?
13, yeah.
So,
yeah.
I want to see what they can do. I don't think they're going to go back to the colorful mascots, Jak and Daxter, Crash Bandicoot. I think they'll probably stay a little more serious in tone. They probably won't go less serious than Uncharted, although I think they probably could do it well if they wanted to. I want something more fun and more relaxed than not Uncharted. I think Uncharted is actually really good at balancing fun and serious. I want something much less serious than The Last of Us, which is as serious as a teenager in their room listening to Linkin Park with a razor blade in their hand. I want something more video gamey.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that, especially after having played The Last of Us 2, but skedaddling right on into Nintendo Treehouse.
Yeah, there's not much news here, honestly. In fact, I'm very disappointed in what they released. They released more Paper Mario gameplay, which that game is coming out this week. So there was really no point in that, really. And maybe the most disappointed I've been in some time, they announced that WayForward, one of the best developers in video games, is coming out with a Bakuman game. Oh my, why is Bakuman even still a franchise? Because it makes a lot of money.
Money.
Why? They make so many good games and they're making a discount Pokemon game.
It's not even that. It's not even discount Pokemon. It's worse than that. So
it's discount Digimon.
No, it's worse than that. I mean,
discount.
I don't know, man. I can't think of anything.
Yu-Gi-Oh?
I can't think of. Sure, let's just disrespect Yu-Gi-Oh. Why not?
I'll disrespect Yu-Gi-Oh all day long.
Yeah, I was definitely not happy with that at all. It
was very disappointing. I was hoping that they were going to come out with a new beat 'em up, a new platformer.
It didn't feel like
Metroidvania.
It didn't feel like they spit in my mouth. It felt like they spit on my shoes.
I don't think they spit anywhere.
That's just
I don't think they personally attacked me or anything, but I was definitely disappointed. I think WayForward makes some of the best games around.
I'm still interested in that Shantae game.
Oh yeah, of course. It looks great. I'll buy it eventually. Cool. But yeah, if anyone was looking forward to a new game from WayForward, this is probably going to be a disappointment to you unless you are a Bakuman fan. Who knows? Anything is possible. This could be good. I've never watched a single second of Bakuman because I am not 12.
Yeah, man, not for you. Not for us.
Moving on to more news about big companies being bought by even bigger ones. It has been revealed that Tencent, the mega corporation coming from China, is looking to buy the owners of Gears, the owners of the people who made Gears Tactics and Warframe Studios. Now, they do not own the Gears of War license. Obviously, that's Microsoft, but they made the game. Dude, so Epic is about $18 billion, right? That's pretty impressive. According to this Video Game Chronicle article, though, Tencent is worth $680 billion, making them one of the largest companies in the world.
Wow. I knew they had their feet and toes and entire body into a lot of honeypots. Didn't know it was that many because I swear their tag is slapped on a bunch of mobile games.
You know that $18 billion that Epic is worth? Well, they own 40% of that.
Yep.
They also own all of Riot. They own part of Activision Blizzard, Ubisoft, PUBG Corporation, Sumo Group, Platinum Games, and Marvelous Inc. And they also opened a new studio in Orange County just this month.
Yeah.
So they're worth a little bit of money.
Yeah.
And they are swinging that money around to purchase. In fact, according to this Video Game Chronicle, they're saying that they intend to privatize. I don't know why the way that's worded.
Whew.
We intend to take you.
Oh.
Liao Technologies Holdings, which own the producers, or they own the Digital Extremes, which makes Warframe. Is that right?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
Dirty Bomb, which are the makers of the Xbox Gears Tactics game.
What a name for a game studio, Dirty Bomb.
Wait, no, Dirty Bomb developer. Splash Damage is the name of the developer.
I knew it was something they both had to do with something, blown up. But yeah, that is a whole bunch of money to be thrown around just to do whatever they want with.
I could just see like a Chinese businessman holding a conference. We intend to buy you for $1 billion. Yeah, that's so much money.
They don't even, at that point, people aren't even reading contracts. It's just...
You better read it. You're going to end up in jail in the Communist Party.
Yeah, China. Tencent's one of those companies where I ain't trying to battle it, but it is interesting to see
I'm not trying to battle it. I would advise you against that.
It is interesting to see how far their arms are reaching, though, because they own a bunch of shit.
They're so massive.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane.
If
I don't know if they're the biggest video game company in the world. Of course, Microsoft. If you count Microsoft, they're certainly not, because Microsoft might even be $1 trillion company. But among people that aren't Microsoft, they are way up there.
Yeah, and think about just how much they reach. If you want to go down a rabbit hole, just look at all the mobile games they have their name slapped on. It is insane. It is crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just to name, one of the biggest ones.
Well,
obviously,
Candy
Crush, Call of Duty. That's the only two I can think.
Candy Crush, Soda Saga.
Yes.
All the good games.
All the good games. It is crazy. They just are going around snatching up studios. Soon it'll be a battle of Tencent versus Disney.
Oh, dang.
That's kind of what I equate them to in the video game world, man. I mean,
They are a little bit like that, where they have their hands. Well, Disney doesn't have their hands in much. They just straight up own.
they just own a bunch
everything.
of stuff. Yeah. So,
Mickey puts a hand on it and then he just grabs it. He don't pat you on the back. He pulls you in wherever he wants you to come with him, and then he passes you a 20 and tells you to shut up.
Yeah.
It's all the Vietnam flashbacks in your eyes.
Yeah, Disney is very powerful. It's actually, you know what? Reverse. Disney's just gonna buy Tencent one day.
I don't think Disney can buy Tencent.
Disney doesn't have enough money. No,
I don't think anybody has that money. In fact, definitely no one has that money.
No.
Jeff Bezos is about to take that as a challenge.
Oh, yeah.
Let's end the show talking about a couple conferences that were held. First off, a smaller one by Devolver
Digital.
There we go.
So, as they have in recent years, their little 1-hour conference, which was 30 minutes longer than it was last year, was a slew of theatrics and craziness. It was actually really fun to watch. I really enjoyed it. They did announce some new stuff, though. If you want to go just watch something that's kind of a hoot to really enjoy, go check it out. It's on YouTube, Devolver Digital. And so, they announced Shadow Warrior 3 for PC, coming out sometime in 2021.
Yeah, you've got Ninja Doom written on this, and I can definitely see the comparisons, but we did not see any gameplay.
No, it was just a very flashy cutscene. So
it looks cool, but I want to see more. Oh, we also got Blightbound, which is coming to Steam Early Access July the 29th.
Mm-hmm.
It looks very much like Diablo, except more bit. It doesn't, not necessarily like 64, not like 32-bit or 16-bit or something, but it's more simple. I think that's the best way to put it. Jordan, it's side-scrolling. That's how you put it, and I would agree. It's more of a, it's not top-down like Diablo. It's more side-scrolling.
Yeah.
That's the word for it. You got it written down, side-scrolling.
Yeah. Carrion is coming out. The only new news we got for that is that it's coming to Game Pass. You know, like we already knew it was coming to
Everything
PC,
else.
everything else.
Oh, it's not going to PS4?
No.
That's crazy.
PC, Switch, Xbox One, and Game Pass.
That blows my mind. Usually, if something comes to multiple consoles, it comes to PS4. 120 million strong.
Yeah. Yeah, it was weird. I don't think I overlooked it. I'll double check their website real quick.
I don't know if I'll play this, although it does look kind of fun, and it's probably going to be at least good.
I am definitely going to be playing it because it's on Game Pass. Because
So, is it on Game Pass PC?
yes, yeah.
Oh, awesome.
That's what they were using the thing to announce. They brought in, nope, GOG, Steam, Xbox One, Switch, no PS4.
All right. Oh, they also announced Disc Room,
Yeah,
which looks really weird but kind of cool.
yeah. Basically, it's a spaceship or whatever the levels are. You run through the levels, and there's a bunch of
Saw blades,
saw
basically.
blades running around. You got to run through the puzzles and
It's like a puzzle, bullet hell kind of. Might be the best way to put it.
but with saws. So it looks interesting. And the last one's gonna be Ojala.
Olesia?
Yeah, it's going to be coming to PC and Switch sometime this year. It's a Metroidvania where you shipwreck and you play as a badass that has a harpoon.
It looks kind of cool. The gameplay, at least. I'm not the biggest fan of the art style, although I can get over that fairly quickly if the gameplay is good enough.
It looks fun. I'm interested in it just for the fact of how it was introduced in the presentation. It was just funny how they were just like, do we have anything else to announce? Everybody else is announcing tons of shit. We don't have anything else. We got some bullshit about a guy and play the fucking trailer.
That's fine.
I've really liked it a lot. I can't. Nina Suthers is back, baby.
I like Devolver Digital.
Yeah.
They publish a lot of good games.
And the last thing, and their one more thing, was they made their own game. Well, not that they don't.
That's the game you were talking about.
Yeah, it's a meme on E3.
You just talked about this like an hour ago on this podcast.
Yeah, and you sneak into the convention center and go through their little. It's literally what's it called? A marketing thing where you just go through and you get to look at all the trailers that we just talked about, and that's the game. That's it. So.
Last piece of news here that we are going to talk about is Ubisoft's Forward event. So, first up, they did announce that there are going to be more of these in the future, although I don't believe they said when. Now that that's out of the way, let's get into the actual announcements. Watch Dogs Legion has got an announce date. It is going to be coming out fairly soon, actually, October the 29th.
This is looking much better than what we saw last year.
See, when the trailer came out, you're like, oh, I don't want to play this. But by the time it ended, you seemed like you were really on board.
Yes, it's one of those things where at first, when the trailer first came out for Watch Dogs Legion, I was like, this is interesting. And then the gameplay came out, and I was like, well, that looks weird. You got to level up the people. Not everybody's going to be the same level and whatever. And then they changed everything, and then this information came out, and at first, I was like, okay, maybe it's kind of the same. And it didn't look as interesting because maybe you might not have that big of a pool of characters to play. But the trailer kept going, and they're like, hey, each playthrough, you can just kind of grab who you want. There'll be... And after watching some YouTube videos and stuff on it, it looks like each little...
Well, I think saying each playthrough is kind of misleading.
Yes.
This is going to be a 30 to 40-hour game, I'm sure. You're not going to be like... This isn't a Dead Cells that you're going to run through the game in a couple hours and die and start over.
Playthrough was the word I should have used instead of playthrough was like mission. Each mission you can have a different tactic. You know, you might play as a construction worker or a spy or whoever, and that's what I was trying to convey instead of, you know, just use the wrong word for that. But after watching some YouTubers and stuff go over them being able to play it for 3 to 4 hours, it looks like it's going to be pretty solid. I don't know how it's going to be, you know, it looks like it's going to be solid for the first half, but I don't know I don't know if it's going to be boring after a certain point, if you're just going to feel kind of bored doing the same thing with the same characters over and over, because what was originally promised was any NPC in this whole damn game is playable.
Isn't that still the thing? I think you're still going to be able to recruit people and stuff throughout the entire game. It'll be weird. Why do you think you'd stop doing that halfway through the game?
Because at least the opinions of the people that I was watching, they were saying, at least in their little 3 to 4 hour playthrough, each mission only had about like 20 different people you could play just out of the like core thing, and you could go and recruit different people. And so they were just wondering, you know, when does the full fleshness, like the full
fleshness, ew,
weird phrase. When does the, you know, this construction worker that has a fully kitted thing, say, you know, you're 50 NPCs down the road and you're using somebody, you know, is that person's kit going to be as fleshed out as, you know, one of the earlier NPCs you run into?
Why wouldn't it be?
I don't know. It was just something they were wondering about.
Okay.
They never...
I mean, fair enough. I could definitely understand having reservations about this game. I don't think it looks good, really, at all. First Watch Dogs is very boring. I am interested in the second Watch Dogs, especially because Ubisoft is giving it away for free on PC now.
That's the only reason you're interested in it?
Yes. I was very slightly interested in it when it came out. And all the reviews said it was way better than the first one, and yada, yada, yada. But I'm not a big fan of, oh, yeah, man, tech. Yeah, man, you're a tech head. I mean, I think it's really kind of cringy, and people... I mean, obviously, this is a weird utopian world that everyone could fight. I mean, these people get hit in the head with a baseball bat and die. If this was real. You know what I mean? Like, the granny would just get punched in the throat and fall over and die. I think the game looks kind of goofy in Ubisoft in bad ways. I don't like the facial animations or any of the animations, really. I think they look very Ubisoft. And I like Ubisoft. I do. I think that they are perhaps the only massive developer, really, especially out of, you know, you think of, at least when I think of big publishers and developers, I think of EA, Activision, and Ubisoft. Ubisoft is really the only one that's willing to take any risk, and yes, their games they're Ubisoft. They're Far Cry, which we'll talk about in a minute. It's AC, Assassin's Creed, lately Watch Dogs, and some Tom Clancy games. But they are at least different than every other FPS game on the planet that Activision especially makes. I just don't like the idea of Watch Dogs in general, really. Mostly because of the cringy tech crap. And the weird Brexit stuff. But, to each his own. I will be looking at reviews, watching my favorite YouTubers, and my mind could be easily changed because I think they've made it cringy in the past. Doesn't mean I don't think that they can make it interesting in a way that could draw me in. I am, like you, very skeptical of some of the mechanics that they're touting.
Yeah, that's definitely my biggest drawback of the game as far as how good is it going to be? Is it just going to be mediocre? Is it going to be, you know, awesome?
Ubisoft doesn't make a lot of bad games. They make a lot of 8s. And they make a lot of 7s.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't know, I guess I'm kind of just moving away from the, like, at least me personally, the whole number scale. This is going to sound weird.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's just a quick way for me to say how good something is in literally 1 second.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess kind of putting a nail in Watch Dogs Legion. I'm hopeful for it. I want it to be.
You seem very interested in it.
I want it. Yeah, I want it to be good. Because I think if they do it right,
Well, I want it to be good. Why
Yeah.
would I want every game to be good?
I think if they do it right, it'll, and like literally any Mo show you can go up to, like the barista you get your coffee from or whatever in the game, you can recruit her to be a hacking spy ninja terrorist or whatever you're going to be. If hopefully it'll be, really awesome, because that seems like it'd be really good for gameplay, and it would make for an interesting game.
For sure. Got some Brawlhalla news. It is going to be coming out on mobile, and that's going to be on iOS and Android on August the 6th, and you can pre-register for a free skin in that game.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla finally gets a release date.
It had
Confirmed
a
release date for November 17th.
That's really, we just got that and more footage. I think it looks cool. Actually, I got some For Honor vibes from some of the combat.
Yeah, this kind of washed away. I watched a little bit of the leak that got put out throughout the internet. And this, at least from what they showed in this this event, whatever you're going to call it, kind of washed away me thinking it's just a Assassin's Creed Odyssey emulator with a Viking skin on top of it.
It is.
Well,
That's exactly what it is. That's an exaggeration. But when I heard those comparisons, I heard other people say that. First thing I thought of was, have you ever played an Assassin's Creed game?
well, yes.
You've just described every Assassin's Creed game
Yes, but I
up
guess
until Origins, and then you can describe every Assassin's Creed game after Origins like that again, but be talking about Origins.
I think what I want is I want a little bit of the charm of Odyssey without all the other in-depth, long, lengthy bullshit, which hopefully,
What do you mean?
for me,
You say all the in-depth. What does that mean? Because you seem to be talking about more than just the length of the game.
Odyssey had so much stuff to do
Yeah.
that for me personally, it was just an overwhelming game, and I just got bored with it. It was the story was interesting. Yeah, it took me in and out of it sometimes, and kind of gave me whiplash.
Assassin's Creed is it's another thing I appreciate about Ubisoft is they make video games. They don't make Uncharted. Or I'm sorry, they don't make The Last of Us, and that could be a good thing or a bad thing depending on who you are. But I like video games.
Yeah, and I wanted to like Odyssey. I gave it 20 or 30 hours.
I like Odyssey, and you can go ahead and speak. Talk
I
about what you're going to say, because I have one thing I don't like really.
wanted to like Odyssey. And not, this isn't going to become an Odyssey review or anything like that. But
Mario Odyssey, that's the real Odyssey right there, baby.
exactly. But there are some things in Odyssey that it got to a point where I'm thinking, yeah, for the in-depth people, for my friend that was in-depth into Odyssey, that sunk hundreds of hours into that game, and to him didn't felt like he scraped the surface of it. Like, he loved it. He loved all the in-depth weird stuff you could do, and the collectibles and the upgrades and yada yada. But to me, when I hit 20 or 30 hours, however long it was, I was just thinking, I don't want to go down this road of go to this place, do to this thing. I just got bored with it all, of having to just play the game the way that it was intended to be played.
I think, well, you can play the game any way you want. That's one thing that's just great about video games. You can ignore all of that stuff, and many times I do. I think Odyssey is a very well-made game. I don't like, it is too long. It's ridiculous that game is so long. The thing that I really hate about Assassin's Creed besides that is the level scaling, where maybe I'm just bad at the game. Maybe I accidentally put it on hard. I don't think I did. But I couldn't beat, I legitimately would, if I was at level 10 and I fought a level 11, it felt like I was fighting a boss. I hate that. That is such a pet peeve of mine in video games. That being said, I very well might go back and play it one day. It's on sale all the time.
I mean, I still own the game. It's on the.
You still own it?
It's on PC. I mean, and that's what I wanted to play it on. That's what I got it on. It's just sitting there. It sure as hell ain't installed though. I ain't got that disk space. But
let's move on to the. You could say the pièce de résistance, as they would say in France, of the conference. Far Cry 6 has been announced, baby, coming out next year on February the 21st, featuring Gus Fring and the guy who plays one of the villains in The Mandalorian.
You know, the only Far Cry I was ever really interested in was Primal.
Really? That is one that people don't like.
I just like that particular era of history. I think it's interesting.
I think it's boring as hell, but...
You know, to each his own.
Fair enough, but what do you think about this one? Are you interested in this at all?
I am. There's something about a Resistance that is
Viva
intriguing.
Revolution.
Yes. You know, I do enjoy the comic series, V for Vendetta.
Oh, okay.
I'm going.
The famous Far Cry 6 comic series.
Not that I know of. Maybe there is one. I'm probably. I do, to my memory, because I feel like I remember if I played one. I do not think I have played a Far Cry game at all. Just I
love 3. 3 is amazing. Didn't like 4 that much because it felt like a retread, and I haven't played any since.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, Primal interests me, just because it's Primal and it was cool looking. This one
they got criticized a lot for that because I think they came out that they reused a ton of old assets.
Oh, okay. I could see how that. If I was a fan of a series and they just
it probably wouldn't bother me as much as it does other people, but I can understand it.
Yeah, I can understand where they're coming from. With this is interesting. You know, a revolution in. I'm not even.
It's just somewhere in Latin America. It doesn't specify.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably a fake country.
Probably.
That's what they usually do.
But yeah, looks like it's going to be.
I think.
I don't think they specified.
No, I'm talking about they usually do a fake, or they'll do a fake region of a country, or.
Oh, okay.
You know, they don't usually specify that much.
But yeah, there was just something about the tone of this. Maybe it was this trailer or the fact that I like this particular actor, this particular person, and I want to see how he's going to portray being the villain in this story.
Oh, he's such a good villain.
Yes, exactly.
Period.
And I saw something the other day, and it really kind of hit home. It was just showing pictures of different like iconic villains, and it said, you know, if you hated them, they did their job correctly.
Of course, you're supposed to not like the villain.
And I didn't ever think about that, and I was like, whoa. I don't know why I didn't ever think about it. Maybe I thought of it and I didn't ever click, but it was like a light bulb moment. I was like, damn, that's right. So there is a huge like Ubisoft sale going right now. So maybe I'll pick up one of the Far Cries just to wet my feet in.
Yeah, I think I still have a discount code, so I might pick something up as well. I'm very interested in this game. I'm interested in Far Cry 5 as well. But I was kind of worried.
Is that the one that was doing all the hillbilly church?
I don't think they're hillbillies. They're just, it's set in Wyoming.
Yeah.
I don't think they're hillbillies.
You know, no disrespect to hillbillies or Wyomingians. That's just...
Wyomingians? Dude, what if they're actually called Wyomingians? Anyway, I did think that the setting of Far Cry 5 looked very interesting, but I was kind of worried because I didn't like Far Cry 4 that much.
Isn't there one after Far Cry 5? I'm not going to.
There's Far Cry 5, and then they released a weird sequel called Far Cry like Fallout or something.
Yeah. I'm not going to try to pretend to know the timeline of Far Cry, or if there is one.
Really weird that there's I think they're all, none of them are connected really, except for Far Cry 5 and that weird sequel.
Oh, okay, that's good. I think that's something that always drives me away of particular. Like sequels.
I think it can drive you away if you never played them, but it can pull you in if you've been playing since the beginning.
True. Yes, it's kind of two sides, you know, because I think with numbers you gotta. I think it comes back to the crippling titling of Kingdom Hearts. You know, if you miss point 5, you're fucked. You don't know what's going on.
Man, I don't even care anymore. I just watch a YouTube video.
Yeah, I need to get past the whole numbering thing and just play games that look interesting to me. You know, keep on keeping on.
Well, if you play Kingdom Hearts, don't play Kingdom Hearts 3 before playing Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2.
Well, yeah, but that's, you know, I guess I just need to do some more research.
It is weird that Far Cry is definitely a prime example of a game that some people might think you have to play the others because it is numbered, which is kind of weird because they stopped numbering the Assassin's Creed games. That is going to be it for the news. We do, however, as always, have some deals to tell you guys about. First up, Twitch. There's a game called Van, I guess. That you can get now through the 7th of August.
Yep. The PlayStation Plus is going to be able to get you some indie games every month now.
Apparently, they're going to come out with, alongside their other games, they're going to release one indie game every month. Nintendo has announced the online free games for July. You can go get these games right now. For the SNES, you can get Donkey Kong Country and Natsume Championship Wrestling. That's weird because I think Natsume made the Harvest Moon games.
Huh. The more you know. You can also get Immortal.
Is it Immortal or The Immortal?
Sorry, The Immortal for the NES.
And then, like Jordan said, you can go to the Epic Store and pick up some Ubisoft games for some fairly deep discounts. But I think that is going to be all for this week.
That is going to be it. You can reach out to the show on Twitter at Wannabe Podcast. You can reach out to Ryan on Twitter at Ryan Divisions. You can reach out to me on Twitter at Swilong. You can interact with our Instagram at Wannabe Gaming. If you want to email the show, you're more than welcome to. It's going to be wannabepodcast@gmail.com. We also have a new show that we're doing now where we're still working on getting it everywhere, but it is available on Apple Podcast, YouTube, Spotify, and Stitcher. We're working
on the other places.
We're working on the other places, yep. It's called Dialogue Tree, by the way.
Yeah, we talk about video games, but we talk about video game topics. First episode is on the future of E3, and if we think it has one, you can also listen to episode 0 to get some more information on all that.
And like everything else, it's going to be in the description. You can just click the links and go to where it's available, just so you can enjoy it. Let's see. What else we got going on? Oh, you can subscribe to this show. That'd be great on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora,
etc.
We'd really appreciate it if you give us a review on iTunes, 5 stars.
You can do that in the app, apparently.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Me neither. I thought about just getting an iPod.
Buy an iPod? Not
my bad.
An iPhone.
iPhone.
No, I want an iPod, Mom.
Oh. Yeah. You can enjoy this One Up Me wherever you enjoy podcast, and we appreciate you listening to it. Truly do. Thank you to Alicia for our artwork and the Heatley Brothers for our intro and outro music. I do believe that's going to be it. Stay safe and play on.